In the heart of Emerald City, where glass towers kissed the sky and wealth moved faster than traffic lights, lived a man everyone feared and admired, Chief Leonard Daramola, a billionaire whose name alone could silence a room. He owned banks, estates, oil blocks, and half the city's political favors. To the world, he was untouchable. To his only daughter, Ariel Daramola, he was distant. Ariel grew up behind tall gates, guarded by men with dark glasses and quiet guns. She attended the best schools, wore the finest clothes, and ate meals prepared by chefs who never spoke unless spoken to. Yet for all the money surrounding her, Ariel felt trapped like a golden bird in a diamond cage. Every morning, her convoy moved through the city, clearing roads, horns blaring, people stepping aside. She watched ordinary lives pass by through tinted windows, street vendors shouting, children laughing, cyclists pedaling hard under the sun. Those lives felt real. Hers felt rehearsed. Then one afternoon, everything changed. On a hot Tuesday, Ariel insisted on visiting a local art supply market alone. Her father refused, of course, but she convinced him with promises and sulks. The guards followed at a distance. As she stepped out of a boutique, her heel snapped. She stumbled forward straight into the path of a moving tricycle. "Hey, careful!" the rider shouted as he slammed his brakes. The tricycle screeched to a stop inches from her legs. Ariel froze, heart racing. The rider jumped down immediately. "Madam, are you okay?" She looked up, and for the first time in her life, Ariel Daramola forgot how to breathe. His name was Tunde. He wasn't dressed in luxury, just a faded shirt, dusty jeans, and worn sandals. Sweat clung to his forehead, and his hands were rough from years of work. But his eyes were calm, kind, and honest in a way Ariel had never seen before. "I'm fine," she said softly, surprised by her own voice. Tunde noticed her broken heel. Without thinking, he bent down. "Let me help you," he said. Before she could protest, he gently lifted her shoe and fixed it temporarily with a small wire from his tricycle. Ariel watched in shock. No man had ever bent down for her like that. Not her father's friends, not the rich suitors sent to impress her. They bowed with words, not actions. When he was done, Tunde stood up and smiled. "It'll hold till you get home. How much do I owe you?" she asked instinctively. He laughed lightly. "Nothing. Just be careful next time." And just like that, he climbed back into his tricycle and drove off without asking her name. Ariel stood there, staring after him, her heart beating louder than the city. From that day, Ariel couldn't forget him. She began noticing tricycles everywhere. She started delaying her rides, watching the streets, hoping to see his face again. Days passed, then weeks, until one evening, she saw him. Tunde was parked by the roadside, arguing gently with an elderly woman who was trying to underpay him. He smiled anyway and let her go. Ariel stepped out of her car. "Tunde," she called, unsure if he'd remember her. He turned. His eyes widened slightly. "Broken heel lady?" She laughed for the first time in months. They began talking. At first, just greetings, then short conversations, then long ones. Ariel learned that Tunde lived in a one-room apartment with his widowed mother. He rode the tricycle from dawn to night, saving little by little, dreaming of owning a transport company one day. Tunde learned that Ariel loved painting, hated parties, and felt lonely despite her riches. Neither of them talked about the growing tension between them, the way Ariel lingered too long, the way Tunde's voice softened when he spoke to her. They both knew this friendship was dangerous. One afternoon, Ariel invited Tunde to a cafe. The silence that followed them inside was loud. People stared. Waiters whispered. Tunde shifted uncomfortably. "I don't belong here." Ariel looked at him. "Why?" He gestured around. "Look at me." She reached across the table and held his hand. "I'm looking," she said, "and I see someone real." That was the moment Tunde realized he was in trouble, because falling in love with a billionaire's daughter was not romantic, it was suicidal. Chief Daramola found out the same way powerful men always do, through whispers. A guard mentioned it casually. A driver confirmed it nervously. The name Tunde echoed in his ears like an insult. "A tricycle rider?" he asked coldly. He ordered an investigation immediately. By nightfall, he knew everything about Tunde, where he lived, how much he earned, even what he ate for breakfast. And Chief Daramola smiled. Not a kind smile, a dangerous one. Chief Leonard Daramola did not shout. He did not throw things. He simply looked at his daughter the way powerful men look at problems they intend to erase. Ariel stood before him in his massive living room walls, lined with priceless art, chandeliers glowing softly above polished marble floors. Guards stood at a distance. Silence hung heavy. "You will never see that tricycle rider again," Chief Daramola said calmly. "This is not a discussion," Ariel swallowed. Her hands trembled, but she did not lower her eyes. "I love him," she said. The word love echoed like an insult. Chief Daramola's lips curled into a thin smile. "Love?" he repeated. "You think love feeds you? You think love builds empires?" She shook her head slowly. "No, but it makes me human." That was when he stood up. "You are my daughter," he said coldly. "You will marry who I choose. You will live how I decide. Or you will leave this house with nothing." Ariel's heart pounded. For a moment, fear whispered to her. Fear of hunger, fear of shame, fear of the world outside these gates. Then she remembered Tunde's hands, rough, honest, unashamed. She remembered how he laughed without money. She remembered how she felt alive for the first time. Ariel lifted her chin. "Then I'll leave." The room froze. Even the guards looked shocked. Chief Daramola stared at her as if she had died in front of him. "You think you can survive without me?" he asked quietly. "You think the world is kind?" "I don't know," Ariel replied, her voice breaking. "But I know I'm already dying here." She turned and walked away. No car followed her. No guard stopped her. The billionaire let her go, certain she would crawl back. Ariel left the mansion with only a small bag and the clothes she wore. By nightfall, she realized something terrifying. Money had always been invisible to her like air. Now it was gone. She tried calling old friends. Some didn't answer, others answered with awkward voices. One finally said, "My parents said I shouldn't get involved." Ariel slept that night on the couch of a distant acquaintance. By the third day, she was homeless. She found herself in a poor neighborhood she had only ever driven past. The smells were strong, the noise constant. Children played barefoot on dusty roads. And for the first time in her life, Ariel was afraid. Tunde found her sitting on a bench near the Tricycle park, staring into nothing. He thought he was dreaming. Ariel? She looked up, eyes swollen from crying. Tunde, she whispered, and broke down. People stared as the billionaire's daughter cried into a tricycle rider's chest. Tunde panicked. What happened? Where's your driver? Your guards? I left, she said softly. I chose you. His chest tightened with fear. This world is not kind, he said. You don't belong here. She wiped her tears. Then teach me how to belong. Reality was cruel. Ariel learned hunger. She learned what it meant to count coins. She learned that soap finishes, food spoils, rent waits for no one. She tried selling jewelry only to realize her expensive rings attracted thieves. She stopped wearing them. She washed clothes by hand. She stood in long queues. At night, she cried silently so Tunde wouldn't hear. And slowly, she changed. Her hands hardened. Her voice grew stronger. Her eyes sharper. The billionaire's daughter was disappearing. A woman was being born. Chief Daramola watched from afar. He blocked her bank accounts. He warned landlords. He warned employers. Doors closed wherever Ariel tried to work. Tunde was harassed by police. His tricycle was seized for inspection. One night, Tunde came home, bleeding. They said I should leave you, he whispered. Ariel felt guilt crush her. I'll go back, she said. I won't destroy your life. Tunde shook his head. If I lose you, then I've already lost everything. Something snapped inside Ariel. She stopped begging life to be kind. She started fighting. She began teaching art to children in the neighborhood. She sold paintings. She helped women write letters and fill forms. She used her education, not her money. People began to respect her. Slowly, opportunities came. A local NGO noticed her work. They didn't know her surname. They only saw a woman who understood both worlds. She was hired, promoted, trusted. And for the first time, Ariel earned her own money. Small money, honest money. Years passed. Chief Daramola expected failure. Instead, he saw his daughter on the news, not as an heiress, but as a community leader. People praised her, not for wealth, but for courage. Something stirred in him, something uncomfortable, regret. One evening, Chief Daramola collapsed. Illness does not respect money. Ariel was called. She stood by his hospital bed, older, stronger, unafraid. I was wrong, the billionaire whispered. I thought money was everything. Ariel held his hand. It's powerful, she said, but it's not life. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Bring him, he said. The tricycle rider. Tunde entered the hospital room nervously. Chief Daramola studied him. Long, quiet. Then he nodded. You survived my world, the billionaire said. That makes you stronger than me. He turned to Ariel. You chose love, and you didn't die. She smiled through tears. I lived. They did not move into the mansion. They did not live in poverty either. They built something new, together. A transport cooperative, a community center, A life rooted in dignity, not fear. Chief Dharamola funded it, but never controlled it. Ariel remained free. Tunde remained humble. And the city learned a lesson it never expected. Money builds houses. Power builds fear. But courage builds legacy. Money can open doors, but it cannot buy happiness. Ariel had everything money could offer, yet she was empty until she chose a life of purpose and love. True love is revealed in hardship, not comfort. When wealth disappeared, love remained. That is how you know it is real. Courage sometimes means walking away from comfort. Growth often begins the moment we step out of what is safe and familiar. No human being is inferior because of their status. Tunde's dignity, honesty, and hard work made him wealthy in character. Power should guide, not control. Leadership without compassion destroys families and futures. Self-worth must come from within, not inheritance. Ariel became strong only after she learned to stand on her own. Respect is earned through actions, not titles. The world respected Ariel not because she was rich, but because she served others. If everything you owned was taken away today, who would you still be? Would you choose comfort over truth or courage over fear? How often do we judge people by their status instead of their character? Thank you so much for watching and staying with us till the end. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe so others can learn from it too. Expect more powerful, emotional, and life-changing stories from us. We remain Tales from Mamaa. Bye for now.